I would like to welcome Hijab Zahid, and it's me, Abiha, and Arham, my co-host for you guys, ARD. And I would like you to guys go in the link below and check our previous show with Hijab, which was a mix of fun and banter and all this stuff. So Hijab, let it keep simple in the start. ठीक है, हम बात करेंगे हिजाब की सल्तनत की, जो कि हिजाब ने इस दफ़ा फतह की है, इस दफ़ा इस्टेब्लिश की है, जिस तरह हिजाब पीएसएल में आई। मेरे ख्याल से ये जर्नी पिछले साल स्टार्ट हो चुकी थी when you were in the team of Islamabad United, but this time you were the first women general manager of the men in the men's cricket team. तो for मुल्तान सुल्तान, और ये जर्नी आपकी किस तरह से स्टार्ट हुई, किस तरह मुल्तान सुल्तान के साथ आपकी जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई, एंड हाउ वाज इट? टेल अस ऑल अबाउट इट प्लीज.
I mean, it's not really like an unrevealed, or not really a secret cake journey kahan se start hui. Obviously, a lot of people already know that I used to work as the director of grassroots cricket, and since I was working with the platform, I usually interacted with a lot of people, and one of those people were the CEO and the owner of that platform, Ali Tareen. And I think 6 months down the line, after I've been with GRC, and I've been working with them for almost I think 6 months, and so when Ali took over the ownership of Multan Sultans after the unfortunate passing of his uncle, that's when he there were a lot of since there was ownership change, there were a lot of changes in the hierarchy and the management as well. So when Ali was looking for a new general manager, at that point he told me that he would like me to take that over. I thought he was kidding. He was not. So so there was that that 5 second silent moment where I thought that this can't possibly be real. There must be some cameras around. But yeah, he had a lot of belief in the fact that my field of work, or the skill set that I have because of my past experiences would come in handy with this job. And although it was very scary and overwhelming at first, I think it's still scary and overwhelming at this point. But now that we're done with PSL, everything is it's very volatile and very, how is it, fast paced. Like things change in a matter of seconds there. So you kind of have to deal with that. You kind of have to get on that frequency where you're able to deal with so much stuff at the same time. So yeah, I think now that I've one we're past one season. I'm past one season as a general manager. I have a lot more belief that this is something that I can definitely do in the long term as well.
ओके, सो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क के मुल्तान सुल्तान के साथ जो आपका ये फर्स्ट सीजन रहा है, इसमें ऐसा what was one thing that you were like कि हाँ, मैं ये फॉरेन एक्सेप्ट करूंगी ये ऑफर, एंड what dreams did you fulfill with this opportunity?
Look, obviously, when I started working in this industry, I wanted to be a broadcaster. I wanted to, be a commentator, and um, have my voice represent Pakistan on a global stage, and that was the dream. And being a part of this industry, when you actually start working and looking at other stuff, there are a lot of other opportunities as well that you come across. And since I was by profession a project manager, any kind of jobs, any work experiences I've had before coming into this industry was that basically project management related. So when this opportunity did come along, it kind of made sense, because it was my skill set that I already possessed, and it was in the industry that I dreamed of working in. So it just made sense to have those two things, combined, and then move forward with it. And it doesn't necessarily mean to give up on the dream that I started with. It just means that you don't have to stick to just one thing. If a lot of people might relate to this, but even if it's remotely, any job is remotely related to your passion, or the game that you love this much, you just jump at the chance of doing it. And it was a huge opportunity for me, so at no point did I think that I would say no to this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Arham, you can add
so
more.
I'd like to ask, yeah, I'll go for with it. The question I'd like to ask Hijab is particularly regarding the emotional aspect of joining Multan Sultans. We all know that it's the team of South Punjab, the first ever team to be the part of the PSL. And I feel that Ali Tareen has often mentioned this whenever he's been asked this on main state media, that this is the team that represents South Punjab. He's been working a lot on the grassroots level as well. So, what did this mean for you as an individual coming into this setup? What Because as far as I know, you aren't inherent to the local setup of the South Punjab. So, what did it mean to you individually and personally?
Um, I think that's a fair assessment to say that I'm not really, I don't, come from that region. So I didn't really understand the struggles and, the dynamics of that area and, the people who live there and what kind of experiences they've had and the emotional attachment they have to a team that represents them. And it's probably the only mainstream team that represents the people of that area, so they have a special connection with it. I think it's stronger than what the other areas feel for their teams or other cities feel for their teams. I think the link, the emotional connection is a lot stronger because they feel like the team success is their success. And since they, Ali has spoken about it publicly as well, people of this area, they're not particularly privileged, and they have to fight the odds, to come to a certain level, to achieve a certain level of success. And I think I related to that on certain level as well, because it's not really easy for us, to get to a position or to a place like this where you can work in a way that you have always dreamt of working. So since I felt like I've always had to fight against the odds, I felt that little bit of connection with the people there and with the team itself, and the feelings that Ali had about the area, and he feels very strongly about it. And he basically passed on that feeling to everybody who was part of the team, even if they didn't belong to that area, or even if they didn't have any knowledge about it. Then we made sure that, as the representatives of the franchise, we let the people know and let the team know what it means for the people of South Punjab to see their team succeed.
Okay, so hijab in this season, वैसे तो I am a fan of Multan Sultan myself, और बहुत ही unorthodox सी गेम भी होती है, तो ब्रांडिंग भी होती है, तो सब कुछ बहुत unorthodox होता है. मार्केटिंग से लेकर आप गेम स्ट्रैटेजीज की बात करो, सब कुछ बहुत unorthodox होता है. But this time we saw a different kind of rebranding. जैसे वो इफ्ती मैनिया का एक टी शर्ट ट्रेंड आप लोगों ने चलाया था, एंड it was more towards more colorful attitudes, I would say. तो इसके पीछे रैशनेल क्या था? What were the grounds जो आप लोगों की एक तरीके से जो हाइप सोशल मीडिया कैंपेन्स के थ्रू क्रिएट की गई थी? What was the main idea behind that? What was the main cerebrum behind that?
It's just, I think aap keh lo ki it's just the way that we think. A lot of people that we had in our team, in our management, were very young. So we understood on a very you know basic level that digital media plays a very important role in bringing the team and the fans closer to each other. And since we've experienced that as fans as well on certain levels with Pakistan team and with on different occasions, it's just a very different kind of experience for any fan to see their team represented well on digital media, and have that kind of, your digital media should have that kind of pull that people, people are excited to know what they're going to do next. So that was basically the thought process. We wanted to bring excitement, we wanted to bring new stuff. And I think if we aimed to achieve 10 things, I think we were able to achieve 7 or 8 out of them. A few things we weren't able to do, but there's always the next season to pull those things off. So yeah, basically that was the idea. Since we all are ourselves, since we all are very much active on digital media, we think that it's important to kind of brand that side of your franchise as well, and make sure that the fans always feel like the team is there for them. They can interact with the players, they can somehow also find out different aspects of their players' personalities. That's another thing that we wanted to show people, that they're not one dimensional. Every player is not just aggressive, or every player is not just very calm. They have different attributes to them, and we just wanted to bring those attributes to you guys, to the fans, and I think we were successful in doing so.
Yes, you were definitely.
Yeah, I particularly remember the Naseem Shah trade scenario where all the franchises were basically locking horns, and Multan played its part as well over there, and there was quite a lot of hype created for arguably the biggest ever trade in PSL history. Uh, but moving on, I'd like to ask about the draft. The tournament starts from the draft, the main day. We saw that documentary. Published something that was brilliant in my opinion, and we got to know what happens behind the scenes basically. So we saw them, all of the think tank, sitting in your office. Firstly, start off by commenting about the new setup that you've established within Multan Sultans, the coaching setup. You as your head coach, and then also the new inclusive coaching staff that you've introduced into the management setup. So we'll start off from there. Then I'll ask more questions regarding that.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you guys have seen the documentary, so you know how things, work when you are basically making a strategy for the draft. And to be very honest, not everything goes according to your plan. So you always come up with contingency plans as well. So if there might be a couple of franchises who surprise you on the draft day, you might think that they would move a certain way, and they might not. So you always have to, it's not just about plan A, you always have to have plan B, C, D. However many teams you have, however many moves they have, you need to have as many plans according to that to create that team. But I think we were pretty successful in creating a team that was very well balanced. And as far as the coaching staff is concerned, I think we had brilliant strategists. We have people with different skill set, and that, I think, that was very important. We have people like our head coach Abdurrahman, who's a brilliant strategist, who's done really well in the domestic circuit of Pakistan, in the national team, and now he's been part of Multan Sultans for a very long time. So he understood the pulse of how the team works, and that was very important for us because this is a team that has played, exceptionally well in the last 3-4 years. They've been consistently playing the finals. Uh, Played another final this year, but so basically that was very important for us, to have that thing intact. And I think that's why we were also successful, because everybody brought a skill set to the table, and they all complemented each other really well. Wasim Bhai was who was our development coach and assistant coach. He was brilliant at communicating everything. He made sure that everybody felt part of the coaching staff, especially with our female coaches, with our international coaches. It was important to have a proper communication channel with, and I think he played that part really, really well. So everybody had a strength that we relied on, and that's how we made it work basically.
Yeah, so
Okay.
something
Huh.
more specific regarding the draft. I mentioned about the documentary. Something we saw over there that you were also preempting the different lineups of the squads that are, that you thought that the other teams would be making. And it was pertinent to see that Multan was not only preparing for themselves, but also for the other squads. And I think that is something which is exemplary to mention over here, that Multan specifically did this in order to not only calculate their own playing 11s and their own 15 squad, but also the others. So how did we all know Nathan Lehman has come back to Multan Sultan. He was a man on a mission. Ali Tareen has brought him back. So what is the difference between having the data centric approach that Multan has, that affected the draft as well this year?
Look, I'll be honest, this is the only approach I've seen ever. So I don't have anything to make comparisons with. But one thing I'll say is that when you look at the draft and when you look at some empty spots in your team, you always anticipate that, you always plan that this is a player that you want to pick, and this is the player you want to fill that void with. But you're always careful about, that particular order of picking players as well. And you have to make guesses. You have to think of the holes in the other teams as well, what they might be looking to fill in. So obviously, like I said, you can't just have a plan A team. You need to have, like, if there are 6 teams in the franchise, you need to have 5 plans at least, because if one doesn't go according to it, you need to go back to your second, and then if the second doesn't work out, you need to go back to third. So in that regard, we had to guess like how the other teams would be looking to fill the gaps in their teams after the retentions, especially with the foreign picks. How are they gonna go about it? So yeah, so we had to plan according to that. We can't really say, okay, we want this player, so we're definitely gonna get it. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, there was a lot of homework. So, but we were glad that we were able to get our first picks, which was great. Yeah.
Okay, so like there were a lot of chatters and whispers over the Twitter specifically about the Rizwan Juju. Okay, so many of our fans, they are very curious about this. कि यार ये Rizwan Juju है क्या? Because when the game is down the wire, Rizwan does something out of the box and he just snatches the victory from the jaws of the other team. So what's the secret behind Rizwan's Juju? We all want to know that.
I think that question is for Rizwan himself, but I can tell you what I've noticed and I can tell you what I've learned. What I've learned is that Rizwan is probably the most disciplined, dedicated, and focused person I've seen in this industry so far. I don't think I've seen a better leader. I've seen a better strategist, and I've seen a better, somebody with a better understanding of the game. He just understands it so well, and he's always so calm. I envy that so much, because we were on the sidelines, we weren't even on the field, and we weren't calm. But somehow, in the midst of the storm and in the midst of everything, he's always super calm, and I think his brain works at 100% capacity at all times. So that's what I felt working with him. But he's an exceptional player. He's an exceptional human being, and it was. Honestly, it was an honor to see how he handles the dressing room. It was an honor to see how he takes the whole team together, and how he works with them, and everybody. Honestly, everybody that in the team, may that be a player or may that be a manager, anybody respects the hell out of him. And I think that's you can't say that about a lot of people. It's very rare to have this kind of pull and this kind of personality, that everybody is just drawn to you and respects you for what you do for the country.
Yeah, that's one thing that I guess the whole Pakistan. There's two
But if
things
you're talking
basically.
about that Juju thing, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that Juju is, because the only thing that I can see is that he's brilliant at what he does. And when someone is brilliant at what they do, and he just has this unreal belief. I think that's the Juju. I don't know, maybe. He just has this unreal belief that no matter what happens, no matter, the result, no matter what has happened previously, it's just all going to work out at the end.
Just a rapid fire round, and it's a quick one, so you have to be quick for that.
Okay. Let's
Okay, so
hope
let's
that
start.
after the mental tiredness and everything of PSL, I'm still quick. Let's go.
Okay. So first one, of course, Multan Sultan.
Champions.
Cricket.
Love.
Passion.
Everything.
Iftimania.
Oh, phenomenal.
Dream car.
Lamborghini.
Mohammad Rizwan.
Extremely charismatic.
Favorite commentary piece ever.
Probably Champions Trophy 2017.
Okay. Babar Azam.
Babar Azam. I don't know, there's so many words that comes to mind with Babar Azam. It's just, I think he is probably the best that we have.
Undoubtedly, yes. Favorite player.
I have a lot of favorite players, but I think currently Iftimania.
Okay. And favorite commentator, that's the last one.
Ian Bishop.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, so wrapping it up, एक आखिरी question, because we have seen Multan Sultan working on women empowerment a lot of times. ठीक है, एक जैसे कहना चाहिए पीएसएल फ्रेंचाइज देखी जाए तो अगर हम एम्बेसडर का है वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का, तो इट विल बी मुल्तान सुल्तान अनडाउटेडली, एज फातिमा सना वाज साइंड अप फॉर एम्बेसडर किट रिवील के लिए, और अभी मेरे ख्याल से डब्ल्यूएसएल भी आ रहा है. सो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन दैट?
See, I think it's long overdue, the women's PSL. I've interacted a lot with Fatma during the duration of this PSL, and I think 90% of the time we were just talking about women cricket and how we can make it better. So there are a lot of things that we want to do, that we want to achieve in the coming years as far as women cricket is concerned. And I think it's very important that your mainstream people who have pull in the industry and the PCB itself gets involved in that. And I know that our owner Ali feels extremely passionate. He's extremely passionate as far as women's cricket is concerned, and he wants to take it to a level where it matches the rest of the world at the moment where they are. I think we're pretty far behind at the moment, but I think unless there's proper intention, we can't really execute it. So you have to have a proper intention of pulling this off, the women's PSL and everything. And I think it needs to become a priority for us to pull it off. It's after watching the PSL, I know it's not an easy job to conduct a league like this. You need proper resources, you need proper dedication, you need proper people who have had experiences in pulling leagues like this off. And I think we definitely have the pool of players, and we definitely have the pull because of the PSL to kind of make this a reality and not just a dream anymore. And I think it's very important to do that because we have so much talent, we have so many players who feel very passionate about cricket, and they just aren't able to participate in the leagues around the world. And the reason for that is that they just don't have that franchise league experience at the moment. Unless you have a league at home, unless you invite foreign coaches and foreign players to Pakistan to come and share the dressing room with our young talent, I think it's gonna take them forward in a very short amount of time, and that's when they'll be able to compete with the rest of the world.
One day, sure. Arham?
Yeah, so I'd like to just conclude and I'd ask you one last thought. Any message for us Multan fans, especially people who look up to the franchise as not just fans of the game, but fans of the process and fans of how things go and work behind the scenes as well? Any last message for people like us? We also have a special fan in the ARD family, Kisa, who wanted us to give her a shout out in front of you. So I've done my job, and I'll be asking you, yes, just parting thoughts. What do you think we
Um,
should be looking up to next season for Multan Sultans?
Look, I think the fans and obviously everybody that was involved with PSL and with Multan Sultan specifically this year was a bit disheartened, after the final, and we came so close, and it feels unreal that you've come so close, and after um, a dedicated 40-45 days you've spent in making sure that you get your hands on that trophy, and you're just like just a few millimeters away from it, and it's just that can have a disheartening effect. But I feel like and this is something that I've learned from our captain as well. I feel like you can never give up. You can't, as fan, you can't give up on your team. As fan, you can't give up on your passion for this game and everything. And my message is to just hold on to that hope, to that belief that your captain holds on to, and it has made him so successful over the years, and it has made him into this leader that he is now. And I just feel like as fans, it helps to have that kind of a figure in front of you. So I just feel like you should all look up to him and see how he deals with that, with this kind of result and everything, and just feel proud of the fact that we've come so far. And I think jo thoda sa hamara distance reh gaya, that 1% that's left, I think we'll be able to cover it inshallah next year. There's always next year to do things in a better way, and I think we can definitely do that. So just hold on to the hope, be proud of your team, and especially to Kisa, I know how involved she was with Multan Sultan, how much she loves the team and how much she loves the whole the players, and I know she's a big Rizwan fan as well. So just for Kisa, he has an insane belief that this team will be successful, and I think we need to just replicate that at this moment and just try our level best.
Okay, so thank you so much, Hijab, for coming to our show. for giving us such wonderful insights, for telling us about everything about Multan Sultan and your journey. And we wish you all the best. We wish you all the luck for your upcoming endeavors in this industry. And I myself look up to you uh, in this industry. I have learned a lot from you. And yeah, thank you so much. Any
No,
last thoughts?
it's a pleasure being here, you guys. I haven't done any interviews since PSL, but I couldn't say no to you guys. Super proud of how far you've come, and inshallah, I always pray for your
Thank
success.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.